Hey guys, I got a Peugeot Super Vitus 980 sitting right behind me. I've done some research on the bike and I found out that it was a pretty decent bike for its time. Now of course it's definitely gotten a lot of miles on it and a lot of wear and tear, and some things have broken and a lot of things have, it's just an old bike. The other day when I finally decided to take the Peugeot out of my shed and bring it into my room, I started cleaning some of the parts like the crank and the cassette with some degreaser, and I started bringing that shine back out. And I started to notice how the bike was actually in really good condition still, um, seeing that it's probably a little bit over 20 years old now, actually probably 30 years old now. I want to keep the bike as original as I can, and after I started cleaning it, I started removing stuff, and so that's why you probably see some of the stuff off, like the bar tape and things. I've removed other things like the brake housing, the brake cables themselves. I've unscrewed the derailleur from the hanger. I removed the chain, and that's probably about it so far. So yeah, now I decided that I want to document everything that I'm going to remove and why I'm going to remove it or replace it, and I'm going to show you exactly what I want to keep. So basically what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to get everything off the bike and just get the frame itself. That way I could clean the frame and polish it back up and replace like the shift cables, the brake cables, and things like that, and clean the brakes, get new brakes. So here's one of the shift cables housings that I took off, and as you can see it's split, the outer layer, and it's a little bit stretched out. This is what I want to replace with some new housing and some new cables. The chain has been taken off and the derailleur has been unscrewed from the hanger. The chain, I tried to clean it as much as I could and it still got awful. And who knows how many miles it has on it, so I'm going to go ahead and replace that. I've already replaced the pedals to clip-in pedals because I want to ride it clipped in. And the derailleur itself has a problem with it. Right here on the lower pulley, it's broken, so that's something that's going to have to be replaced. I'm obviously going to put new bar tape on it, and I'm going to put new brakes on it. Not actual calipers, but just the brakes themselves, because the last time I was able to ride it, the brakes sounded extremely horrible. They would screech and it would hurt my ears, literally. Another thing that I was unsure about was whether I should rebuild the wheels themselves or buy new ones. And I thought about just rebuilding them. But as I was looking at closer to the rim, I found a deep scratch. And now that I look at both rims all around, I can see that it has deep scratches all around. So I think I'm going to go ahead and replace it. I really didn't want to remove the original hub, but I think I might have to. The crank and the front derailleur seem to look fine. I'm just going to take them off and clean them just so they can be clean. The shifters seem to be fine. They just need some adjustment on them. But I'll do that after I replace the shift cables with new ones. So those are going to stay on, stay the same, and that's pretty much about it so far. So now to remove everything off the bike. One last thing, I put the brake lever back on just to show you how it looks. I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to look for some new hoods for it. The bike didn't come with them, but I'm going to see if I can find some that are relatively cheap, because I know they can be quite expensive. And that's another thing that I want to do on the bike.